let's give this Ultimate Fighter thing a shot. It was the highest rating we ever pulled on the Ultimate Fighter. Kimbo might not have been a fighter who could break into the top 15 in the UFC, but when you talk about real fighters, Kimbo Slice was as real as it gets.
He did tell me he gonna be famous one day, and that's what he did. So when a kid tell you something, you gotta listen.
Getting in a fight in the hospital is just nuts. I think Nick's missing some screws, man. Something's wrong with that guy.
You know, I'm not playing games. I'm not acting out here. This is real as it gets.
I want to create those iconic moments in history so by the time it's done, after I fought everyone and beaten everyone, they can say, this is the guy. He's the GOAT. This is as real as it gets. And it's mind-blowing.
What I pay to see right here, baby.
Knockouts Only brings you the best KO action from over 20,000 fights available on UFC Fight Pass. Each episode brings you a collection of classic KOs from across the combat sports world. Knockouts Only, available now on UFC Fight Pass.
I had to deal with the lowest of lows to the highest of highs. I want to be a guy that people look back on and go, at every step of the way, Daniel was a role model, he was a leader. And that's truly what I want to be remembered for.
Sometimes life lessons are merely consolation prizes at having to learn things the hard way. If I can bestow that knowledge on at least one person without them having to go through what I went through, then I'm satisfied.
Josh used MMA as a tool for sobriety, and it worked really well until it didn't.
I want to figure out a way that we can make something good out of this.
My co-founder, Josh the Man, passed away 3 years ago, and we've started a foundation in his honor.
We're continuing the story that he would be wanting to tell. It builds Josh's legacy, and he gets to still play a role in these people's journeys.
To be our greatest self is what I think our calling is. All of us have different paths to greatness, whether that is through fighting or parenthood or owning a gym and making difference in young kids' lives or whatever the situation is. You know, we all have to find that one path and we have to go for it with no fear. Just go, go, go.
In the heavyweight division, no other fighter's ground game can compare to Curtis Blades. So when we brought him into the UFC Performance Institute, we wanted to find out what makes him such an elite wrestler.
3, 2, 1. Blades' takedown can generate more than 1,800 pounds of force. That's bigger than the impacts we've measured from some of the hardest hitters in the entire NFL.
Wow. This is sick, huh? Still feels the same. People say it was fast-tracked, but we took our time because we wanted to make sure when we go into the UFC, we could fight anyone, even the champion on our first fight, anyone in the world. So people can say, oh, you got fast track, right, but look what I've been doing. Even if you don't like me, just literally put all that aside and look what I've done. Been in the company for just over 14 months to become champion. You don't have to like me, but you will respect it. So Marvin Vittori, that was interesting. I've said this before in other interviews. I pick my fights. And when I say that, doesn't mean like I went to dinner, I want to fight that guy. I picked my fight in the sense that before I even gone to the UFC, I was at UFC 219, and that was at the end of 2017. I haven't fought some guy on that card, and I remember walking past him in the hotel, in the host hotel. You know, I'm just a nice guy, I'm having fun, I'm drinking, and I was like, what's up? And he just gave me this look like, staunch. And in that moment, I was like, I'm gonna fight this guy. And I told my coach, I wanna fight him next.
Israel Adesanya, a guy many envision as a future UFC champion, all the rage right now after a dominant UFC debut earlier this year. Tonight, though, here in Glendale, Arizona, the challenges get tougher as he faces Italian Marvin Vettori.
Whenever I fight, I like to look into my eyes. After I watch the fight, and I see like, this is that guy.
Spinning attack there.
Just touch, yeah, he's reacting.
In this fight, there's a lot of things I did on the fly, because fighting a southpaw, he did some things pretty good, but he couldn't handle the steez.
Beautifully slips the offering from Vettori and lands a flush right.
And Vittori's starting to get confused now. You see it in his face. He's like, okay, I can't really hit him.
Israel just slides out of the way of his attack. If Vettori didn't respect him before the fight, he respects him now.
The fight with Marvin Vettori was a learning experience, definitely, but also it showed me that definitely I belong in the UFC, because I was able, like I said, to read certain things he did on the fly. I'm talking within split seconds. And yeah, it just showed me like, okay, you're right where you need to be. Fighting in Las Vegas, headlining the Palms, in my third fight in the UFC. For me, it was inspirational. It made me realize, like, yeah, I call this and I'm here now, and I'm doing this for real. And that fight itself, going 5 rounds, after they said, nah, when he gets to deep water, he's gonna quit. And I showed out.
International Fight Week 2018. Live inside the Pearl at Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the Ultimate Fighter finale, Tavares versus Adesanya.
All right, guys, calm down. Here we go. 15 seconds.
Israel Adesanya. Since joining the MMA world, 13-0, 12 finishes, still undefeated, and a first main event in very short order in the UFC.
He came out as though he had been in the UFC for 20 years and was waiting for his title shot.
Yeah, I remember this fight. This will still be my funnest fight in the UFC. It was 5 rounds. Brad's a tough dude, and I showed a lot of my game.
He has been the boss, he has been the bully, he has led the dance.
And the last style bender's starting to go to work.
Come back down. Different looks, Israel.
Body kick. Nice one. Tavares.
And look how I tricked him over here. Beautiful. And a lot of people, like I said, they were in this before this fight, they were like, nah, man, it's too soon for him. Brad's gonna him up. Jones thinks he's the only one that's stronger than he looks. People, it's different when you're in the cage with me.
What does Brad Tavares have left? A late submission attempt from Adesanya. We go to full 25 minutes at middleweight.
I'm still getting warmed up. A lot of people in the game, they've been out here for like damn near 10 years, and they're still not doing what I'm doing. So I'm just getting warmed up. Derek Brunson is just one of those guys who, like I said, he's been in the company for so long, and he sees this young black kid coming up and getting, doing what he wished he could have done. Reminded me of like some high school. Oh, you're too skinny. And I was like, what do you think this is, bodybuilding? Yeah. I'm a skinny boy and water. a Knicks game.
Right now we're heading to MSG, Madison Square Garden, to watch the Nets versus the
Knicks.
Yeah, boys. And it'll give me a chance to get acquainted with the arena itself, feel the atmosphere.
This was cool. This was a really cool experience.
But then I can see my mind change, my face change, and I'm just like, okay, I'm still in here. At the end of the day, if I can't fight, if I can't win, this all goes to waste. So I got to come in here and dominate.
That was beautiful because MSG, Madison Square Garden, even when you walk through yourself, you see the pictures of icons that have graced those walls, that have danced under those lights. And for a guy like Muhammad Ali, who's a legend in life, and we dance under the same lights, I mean, that's a tick. Lifetime achievement.
Here is the unflappable Israel Adesanya, fourth UFC appearance here tonight.
I swear to God, the Holy Ghost called me. I came through the Blue Duval small bitch, and somehow I was just catching the vibe. I was feeling it. Yeah, here we go. Let's fight. You could see he was shook. Waved goodbye to his friends, and I was about to show him who's skinny.
Good early sign for Adesanya, able to stay upright. Right hand of Adesanya got Brunson's attention.
He's got to be careful that Adesanya doesn't set him up for a knee as he tries to do that as well.
He's got to drop this. He's got to drop his belt.
He's lucky Irving saved him. Right, he hit them with the shaku shaku. Man, that's some cute. That's some culture. That's a flavor. That's my jack.
That's the last style bender, folks.
They don't know. I started the game at level 2. They're just loading, so I got in his head. And I got him to start to work and shoot. I keep saying, man, I don't throw and hope. I aim and fire. Down the barrel.
Getting in a fight in the hospital is just nuts. I think Nick's missing some screws, man. Something's wrong with that guy.
You know, I'm not playing games. I'm not acting out here. This is as real as it gets.
I want to create those iconic moments in history, so by the time it's done, after I fought everyone and beaten everyone, they can say, this is the guy, he's the GOAT. This is as real as it gets. And it's mind-blowing.
Knockouts Only brings you the best KO action from over 20,000 fights available on UFC Fight Pass. Each episode brings you a collection of classic KOs from across the combat sports world. Knockouts Only, available now on UFC Fight Pass.
I had to deal with the lowest of lows to the highest of highs. I want to be a guy that people look back on and go, at every step of the way, Daniel was a role model, he was a leader. And that's truly what I want to be remembered for.
Kevin was 9 years old. He said, Mom, I'm going to be famous one day.
He was like an overnight sensation.
He did tell me he going to be famous one day. And that's what he did.
We all have moments of strength, and we all have moments of weakness. But you kind of have to get in touch with your animalistic side. Outside of the octagon, I'm Happy Rose, but I'm Thug Rose when I entered the octagon.
Yo, I know, I'm coming for you. Be careful.
Every day was revolving around that one moment. Barry, he's been believing in me before I even really believed in myself. Good girl. It was like an eternity being in that bus.
Yeah, I'm good.
One of the most important things that I've learned over the entire year is that I'm a champion and will always be.